Hello, in this video I would like to show you how you could finish your business intelligence tool for the joint IoT BI assignment number 2. It shouldn't be a very long video, but I hope it's useful, and if I was to summarize this, it would be as follows. Trying to do something useful for the business with the data that we've got. So this video picks up roughly from where I was last time, but I will remind you I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 rooms full of temperature data, and this has been summarized in this table here, which is called a pivot table. And pivot tables have rows of data and then some sort of summary, and it's this summary pivot chart which is of great interest to us. Okay, these buttons here are visual basic links to the different pages, and this is to give this the feel of a dashboard. I've also removed the grid lines, which is really easy to do. And so just Google that if you don't know how to do it to make it look professional. I've grouped these together and lined them up, and here's the chart here. Something that I mentioned last time is the forecast for the weather, and what I've done is I've kept this forecast data here. I could update it if I wanted to by going to data and refresh, but I won't, most likely because my trial subscription has run out to that website. And what I've done there is that I've summarized as an average the temperature between this date here and this date here. I've just reiterated the dates there, which unfortunately in the American format, and they're not changing, so just ignore that, and I've put it there. So the temperature for the week ahead is going to be approximately 9 degrees C. I take that information and I want to do something useful with it, and I put it there with a little label on saying it's the average forecast temperature. And these bits in brackets probably wouldn't appear on a real dashboard, but I've put them there to aid you. The average room temperature from the week before, which is summarized by this data, is found here. And I get that by changing the values here in this field down here. I don't have to have the humidity, so I'll remove it, and I don't have to have the pressure. A more complex dashboard would probably have different pages for that. I'm going to change the label here. Temperature last week. And so I've got that temperature there. I've guessed something here. So with the average room temperature here from the data on this pivot table, and the average forecast temperature here from the built-in weather forecast data that we've put in, I also need another comparison temperature, and this one here is the average temperature from last week. Okay, I've cheated here. This is a figure guessed from a spreadsheet that is not included here. So it's historical data that has come from elsewhere. Here is a simple comparison between the two average temperatures of the week just gone by and the forecast for the week ahead. Okay, so the forecast is it's going to be 9 degrees, and that is colder, quite a lot colder than the average temperature last week, which was 20. The difference is there, and there's a little bit of simple logic here, which will either say warmer or colder depending on whether or not the difference between them is a negative number or a positive number. And in this case, by a positive number, I mean greater than 0. I've also added conditional formatting here, which basically says that if we see the value colder in the cell, turn it Arctic blue, and if we see warmer, turn it green. Well, actually, if you think about that, that's probably a bit silly, actually. So I'll just make a little change there, format, and we go for a nice sort of sun colour. Okay, so there we go, making changes on the fly there. Okay, so if I suddenly said here that the temperature last week was actually really freezing cold, 0, then we should find that we're warmer this week. But again, this is just an arbitrary figure, and I shall just retrace my steps there because I can't remember what I actually wrote. It was 20. Okay. Here's another figure here, number of rooms to be heated. I've just taken that from these here, 1, 2, 3, 4. Probably with the real company, it could be 20, 30, 40 different rooms rented out. Here is a value that I've plucked out of the air based on the needs of my clients who rent the rooms, and I am saying that I want the desired room temperature to be 21 degrees C. That's a lovely sort of temperature where you could just wear a shirt or a dress. Okay, and it's just perfect, not too hot, not too cold. Here is some information, which is the difference between these two cells, R27, which is the one above there, and R19, which is this value here. Okay, remember, that's the average room temperature, which I got right down from the bottom of the pivot chart. And what that's telling us as a company is that if our clients desire 21 degrees C, we're actually overheating them a bit. And I said at the start of this video that the main point of this video is doing something useful with the data. And what we want to do is we want to use the Internet of Things devices to control, well, we measure here, but you could also use the Internet of Things to control the heating devices with smart thermostats and things to make sure the desired room temperature for clients is met. So what we're finding with this data here is that for some reason the desired room temperature isn't being met. We're actually overheating, and we overheated by 4.5 degrees C. Think of the implications. Think of how the board of the company will make decisions based on this, or perhaps the tactical level managers will make decisions based on this. Money is being wasted in unnecessary heating. Now, what about this temperature, this weather data that we've got? Well, we're making a prediction now. So we want to make a prediction to help our business. And it's this, that in the week ahead, we want these rooms to be at 21 degrees C because we've agreed that that's what our clients prefer. And that also makes economic sense for us. We're working out here that we're going to heat our rooms by 12 degrees C because the average outside temperature is going to be 9 degrees C. Okay, so we need to put in some extra heating. Okay, it's a debatable point whether the temperature inside the rooms can be exactly matched to the temperature outside, but I want you to get the general idea about what we're saying here. If it's colder outside, we're going to have to heat the rooms, but we don't want to be heating the rooms up to 25.5. It's not what our clients want, and it's costing too much money. Therefore, this calculation here is simply let's see, it's R27, which is this, the desired room temperature, minus R22, which is this one here, which is the average forecast outside. Okay, and if we do that, then if we take those two away, then we realize that 12 degrees C is the difference that we need to heat the rooms up by. Okay, so this is an example of how we would use this data to make business decisions. Okay, so this is our business intelligence app. What I've done there, just to help you watching this video, is I've just written a conclusion which I'm sure would probably be verbalized or expressed in some other way. And it's basically reduce heating rate to rooms. And I will expand on this because we are overheating. By about 5 degrees centigrade. And also in the week ahead, let's just put that here. Heat rooms by approximately 12 degrees C to reach 21 degrees C, but do not overheat. To 25, what should we call it, 26 for the sake of argument, 25.5. So this is an example of using the dashboard to make effective business intelligence decisions. I'm sure that you'll have your own interpretations of what to do and come up with your own ideas, but I think that including data from an outside source, in this case the weather, and this sort of level of detail and analysis would be for the higher graded assignments. So think about that, okay? But think about what you want to put in your dashboard, and remember what I said right at the start of this video. What useful thing can we do with this data that we've got here? And the useful thing that we're doing is we're making predictions about how much it's going to cost and how much we're going to heat the rooms by in this company in the week ahead, based on the weather forecast that we've downloaded. Thank you for listening, and good luck with your business intelligence and Internet of Things assignment 2.